Alright, so I'm back in the garage with the 2019 F250, and just the other day I put on a Smittybilt front bumper on this. So go ahead and check that video out if you haven't already. And gonna try to get this done tonight. If not, I'll finish tomorrow. We're gonna be replacing the rear bumper here with this Smittybilt bumper. Take a quick look at it real quick. That's what that looks like. Come over here, and this is the Smittybilt part number SB614931, and this is the M1A2 rear bumper. So this one will match the front bumper as well. And there's just some of the parts and hardware. This one also came with rear LED lights that go in the bumper here on each side, so that'll be kind of nice for backing up and hooking up a trailer, which I will also show you how to wire those into the Upfitter switches as well. And then see here, it also comes with these cool little steps. I think that you can undo to step up in the truck bed a little easier. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so first thing that we're going to do is disconnect the trailer wiring harness from the backside. And to do that, what you want to do, you got a little wiring harness, you just want to push in right here, and then you'll pull out that way. Just like that. And that disconnects just like that. Alright, so next you'll want to do the backup sensor harnesses. As you can see in the instructions here, there's a picture of it. But as you can see, this truck model does not have the backup sensors. But I'll just show you real quick. This bumper does support the rear backup sensors. Next, we're going to undo these two bolts here that go on the hitch to the rear bumper. This is going to be 13 millimeter. Next, you're going to want to support the rear bumper. I'm just using these jack stands. Hopefully this will work. If not, you can have somebody hold the bumper for you. And then underneath on each side, you have two bolts here, which are going to be 21 millimeter. So go ahead and loosen them. Go grab the other side. I forgot, before I remove the rear bumper, I'm going to have to pull off these air lines going to the airbags. So let me do that real quick. Alright, so it looks like I got one more connector that I need to pull that I didn't see. This one here, which probably goes to the license plate lights, I'm assuming. So let's try to get that. Same thing, push in right here and pull. Just like that. Now we should be ready. Alright, so now the instructions say to come in here in your hitch and locate, if I can get a good camera angle, this bolt here, which is going to be a 24 millimeter, and it says to take only this one out, and same thing on the other side. So let's do that. Next, you'll want to locate these two bolts here, which are going to be 24 millimeter as well. And it says to loosen but do not remove yet this one, and then totally remove this one. Once this one's out, then you'll go ahead and remove this one. Alright, these are on here pretty tight, so you may have to use a breaker bar or a cheater bar or something just to break them loose, because I think they have Loctite on them. Alright guys, so I finally got that and that side out. It's kind of a pain, like I said, because this thing wants to just spin inside there. So it's kind of hard to get out, but just keep working with it and you'll get it out. Next we're going to come over to the old bumper, flip it over, and locate your license plate wiring harness there. So go ahead and push that in and pull out. Just like that. Same with the other side. Once you get those undone, you want to come along, go under all these little clips here. There's one there. There's one down in here. Okay, and there's that. Okay, and then next you're going to want to undo the license plate light. And what you want to do here is you got 2 tabs up and down and then one on the side. So probably undo this first one on the side first. Just push in right here, push towards the bumper, and then try and do these 2 outer ones. And then you should be able to just push that straight through like that. So I'll go ahead and do the same on the other. Now we'll do our trailer connector plug in here. And I believe this one you just squeeze, yeah, I think you just squeeze these 2 tabs right here and push down. Maybe. Yeah, just like that. Next you want to grab your key, open this up, stick your key in there, and then turn it, and we should be able to remove this whole thing. Yeah, so just like that. And then you can go ahead and bring that over to your new bumper, stick that in there. That. Alright, so I'm having trouble turning this, as you can see, because this metal is just too thick. So what I ended up having to do is, while I'm pushing in on this, I'll grab a pair of channel locks, and I was able to turn this. So just using these to help turn it, so you don't end up breaking your key. Just like that. And there. And then you can remove your key, and it's in there. And then go ahead and install your trailer hook up there. Just snaps in there like that. Then we can go ahead and do our license plate light. It's gonna go in there, yeah, like that. Same with the other side. Just like that. And then you can install your wiring harness. And they didn't put any holes or anything along here for your Christmas tree clips to snap into. So I'm just going to use some zip ties So you can bring that up through here, plug that in. And I'm just going to zip tie it. Zip tie it through here. And then I'm just going to show you, for those of you that have backup sensors, as you can see, you just pop those plugs out. Same with like right in there. And then you can hook up your backup sensors as well. Next, you can grab your LED light, and we'll put the cord side facing in towards the center of the bumper. And then grab your hardware they give you with it. And it looks like you got a flat washer and a lock washer as well. So we'll put the lock washer and then the flat. And then I'm just going to screw that in a little bit on each end here. And then it's hard to get the camera in here, but slide this in. Get your washers on the outside there. And just drop that down in there. Then take your Allen wrench that they give you and go ahead and tighten that. Okay, and I'll do the same to the other side. Alright, so once you get your lights mounted, next we're going to do the step brackets. So you're going to want to grab this piece here, along with 4 bolts they supply you with. And this is going to go sit in there just like that, so the step can come out, slide out, and you can step on that. So go ahead and get those screwed in there. Okay, and I'll go grab a wrench, and those are going to be 5/8. Okay, and you'll want to do the same to the other side. Alright, so next we're going to do the tail light filler piece, which is going to be this here. It's going to kind of go something like that. But first we need to take out these 3 rivets here. So go ahead and just get a screwdriver or something to pry on this with. Get underneath these. Pop that out, along with the one underneath it. And then come around to the inside, and you got this one here. Pull that one off. And you should be able to just pull this out of here. Just like that. Then what you want to do next is cut off this little alignment tab on here. Just a pair of dikes or something, cut that. Just cut that off. And so with that plastic piece off, you can see there's a factory hole right here that's already drilled in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a Sharpie, and I'm just going to make a line going up. So we know that hole is right there, because I'll show you once we put this plastic cover piece back on. Wrong way. Once we put this cover piece back on, you can see that covers it up. But we can still see our line, because we're going to have to drill a hole through this plastic so we can access that hole. But now we know where it is with that black marker there. Alright, so now we can go ahead and put this plastic piece back on. Put this back in. But this time, we're just going to put in this one. We're going to leave those two out. So you can go ahead and put this guy back in. Just like that. And then next I'm going to grab my drill and a bit. I just got a little 1/4 inch bit on this. And we're going to drill right where that factory hole was, which was about right here. And just get through the plastic. So we're through. And then I'm just going to take a big Phillips and just kind of dig into the plastic there just to make that hole a little bigger. Or you can use a bigger bit. Just make a little more room for that plastic rivet that's going to go in there. Next, you want to grab your filler piece, and along with this bracket here, and you can see it has 2 notches, and those notches are going to go in there like that. So this is going to get pushed through there, and then you can go ahead and stick that through, also keeping this side on the other side of the plastic there. And then you got your 2 little lock nuts. So you go ahead and put those on the back side here. And you can tighten those up, and those are going to be 1/2 inch. Alright, so once you get those 2 tight, come around to that hole that we drilled earlier. And you're going to push this plastic rivet into that factory hole that was behind the plastic there. You may have to tap it in with a hammer. So just like that. And that's what that looks like. And then next you want to grab your D-ring. That's going to go in here like that. And then grab your factory bolts that we pulled out earlier. Screw those in. Grab your 24mm, tighten those up. And then it says to torque those to 238 foot-pounds. And then I'll go ahead and do the other side real quick. Alright, and then don't forget this one back here as well, which goes in underneath. Same thing, 24mm. And we'll torque that to 238 foot-pounds as well. Next we need to go back to the old bumper, and we need to remove this mounting bracket here. Same with on the other side. And you can just kind of twist this little lock ring thing off, I think, to get these off of here. And then you can transfer those on both sides over to your new bumper here. Alright, now we should be able to get ready to mount it. Alright, so before I go to mounting this, I'm just getting everything set up. My 2 nuts for when we get it up there. And then also they give you these shims that you may need as well, which we'll have to check the tailgate clearance when we get it up on there. So I'm just getting everything ready since this bumper is so heavy, so we can be ready to bolt it on. And then just double check everything, you know, your bolts on your D-rings. Make sure everything looks good before we go ahead and throw that on there. Alright, so let's go ahead and mount it. Again, I'm here by myself, so hopefully I can get this on without any trouble. If you had 2 people, it probably makes it a lot easier. Alright, so I got it on there, not fully tightened, just on there so it's holding it good. And now I'm going to do the same as I did to the front, you know, bring it up, adjust it as I need to, and then we'll check the tailgate clearance to make sure we don't have to use any shims. Alright, so I got that pretty much centered and leveled, and just show you quick underneath here. So I went ahead and tightened these 2 bolts here on each side, and they recommend you do 65 foot-pounds on the torque on those. Then we come underneath the bumper here and put these back in. And when you guys are leveling this from side to side, if you match these holes with this part, it gets it pretty level. So go ahead and tighten these, and then the recommended torque on these is going to be 20 foot-pounds. Alright, so I got all those tight, and I was just going to let you guys know I did not need to use any of the shims, because when I open the tailgate, you can see everything clears just fine. So I didn't have to use any of those shims. I mount the sliding step that goes in here. You can see you got multiple different holes. I'm going to do the lowest one for now so everybody can see it. So slide that up, and then take this and line up your hole. Screw that in. You may have to use a flathead back here to screw this in. And then you should be able to pull this. Go a little tighter. Once that's pretty much tight, then you can move. That's too tight now. Back this off a little bit. And then you should be able to just pull down on this. Still too tight. Kind of like that. And then that's locked in place. And then as you can see, that's what that looks like. So you can adjust it to where it's all the way up or a few spots down. Then back underneath, don't forget to plug in your 2 wiring harnesses for your trailer hookup and your license plate lights, and then your backup sensors if you have them. Alright guys, so that is the final product. Next I'm going to wire in these LED lights to the upfitter switch in the cab there. And then also I'm going to have to drill out these license plate holes. That way the air lines for the airbags can fit through them as well. But I won't show that. Alright, so next what you want to do is grab the wiring kit that came with the LED lights. Go ahead and open that up. Alright, and so since we're going to be using the upfitter switches, we won't need this relay or this fuse. Just like in my video on the front bumper, pretty much the same thing. We'll go ahead and open this up. You can just take a knife. And then grab you a pair of cutters or dikes, and we can eliminate this red, black, and blue one, because that one's going to your switch. So we don't need that one. Actually, you can leave that one attached. We just need to disconnect the ones that plug into the actual lights. So like this one here, just follow that along. And then we can cut those two right there, black and red. And then find your other one, same thing. That's going to be this one. And hopefully we have enough. They gave us enough to run it from the back all the way to the front firewall there. Alright, so I'm going to plug both of these in to the lights. Get those plugged in. And then I'm going to run it along the driver's side frame rail, and we'll see how far I get. If not, I may have to splice into each other just to get more wire to go to the front. Alright guys, so they don't end up sending you enough wire for these rear lights going all the way to the firewall there. So what I ended up doing was taking this light here and I spliced it in with this one, and then I ran it underneath here above the spare tire, just going along the frame rail. I can't really see it, but it's inside here. And then of course it goes on top of the fuel tank, down along the frame where it comes out here. Show you real quick. You can see it right here. And then I just ran it all along the frame here with that big wiring harness there. And then coming up, you can see it right here. And then it goes up underneath the wheel well here, coming up out to the fuse box here. And then we'll cut it and I'll show you how to wire that real quick. Alright, so once you get the wire all ran, coming up here to the driver's side, little fuse box here, we're going to wire those rear lights just like in my first video on the front bumper. We're going to wire it into the Ford factory upfitter switches, and we're going to do this one on switch number 3. So come along to the tags here, and looks like relay number 3 is going to be blue and green wire, which looks like it's going to be this one. I'm assuming that's what the BU stands for, is blue. So locate your blue and green, which is this one, and go ahead and cut that off. Grab your strippers. Strip that. Grab your butt connector. Stick that in. And you can crimp that on there. Make sure that's tight. And then you're going to grab your red wire, your hot wire, and go ahead and strip that back, and we're going to connect that to the blue and green one there. Cut a little bit of that off. Connect that and crimp that. Make sure those are nice and tight. And then we're going to heat shrink this just with a lighter. Just kind of melt that a little bit. Just kind of like that. And then, like I said, the factory switches already have a relay and a fuse, so that's why we cut off the ones that came with this wiring harness for the lights, so we don't need that. So now let's go ahead and hook up our ground or black wire here. Alright, so just like we did on the front ones, we'll probably run our ground black wire here to the negative battery post. So go ahead and strip the black wire back. Grab you an eye. Your crimpers. Get you a 10mm and pull this off. And then go ahead and stick that one on there as well. It's kind of like that. And I suppose if you guys wanted to, you can wire all these into one big eye if you wanted to, I guess. Alright, so with all that hooked up, let's go ahead and jump in the cab and see if we can get those rear lights to work. Alright, so let's go ahead and stick our key in and turn it. And then we'll flip on switch number 3. Let's go take a look. And as you can see, looks like they both are working. So that's good. And then while you're back here, you might as well check your license plate lights too to make sure you got that all hooked up right as well. Alright, so that's pretty much going to do it for the video. Again, this was a 2019 F250, and we put the Smittybilt M1A2 rear bumper on. And if you guys haven't already, check out the other video where I put the matching front bumper on this truck. And at the end of this video, I'll do a walk around so you can get a better look at it. And that's pretty much it. So if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel, guys. And I'll see you next time. Thanks.